The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the Square Ball Weekly Roundup, which you will find in your podcast app to listen to. And if you want to watch, it's on YouTube as well. My name's Dan. Hiya. The show is brought to you by Levi Solicitors. There is an offer on for the remainder of this month, pre-Christmas, which is 15% discount on your legal fees on the new, we're calling them the new big three. No Michael today, by the way. He's down on the way back from the FSA Awards, which we'll talk about in a minute, which means we're about to get a good read for once for Levi Solicitors from either Chris and or Rob.
Well, Rob just corrected me. I got it wrong. It's wills, conveyancing and lasting powers of attorney.
It's quite difficult, isn't it, Michael? Turns out he is a hard worker after all.
Yeah, the man's a genius.
And that's to celebrate 10 years of Levi Solicitors somehow tolerating us and putting up with this fantastic advertising that we provide for them. Yeah, that offer is on until the 24th of December. Full details and terms are on the website, of course. You'll find a link in the episode description. But head to levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. 10% discount on your legal fees on everything else as well. Yeah, so it's me and Chris Mack and Rob in the chair as well, rounding things up from the last 7 days. I know it's a bit rude to talk about yourself and all that, but should we start with us?
We're a bunch of losers.
We are. So last year we lost in the FSA Awards in our category, the highlight of which was probably inadvertently going for a full sit-down meal in a Lebanese restaurant at about 1 a.m. on Edgware Road in London, having got leathered. But this was straight off the back of a full 3-course meal at the dinner itself. Woke up feeling like quite full the day after, not really knowing why.
I seem to remember that you threw your drink all over in that Lebanese restaurant.
You say through. It was more of an accident, Rob. It was knocking it over.
I also remember I was too drunk to eat by that point. I just needed to go to bed.
Anyway, we didn't go down. We are here. We are sober. Michael was there last night, and here's his report on the event and a glimpse into the sort of high roller lifestyle that he leads.
Hello, everyone. You join me live from Baldock Services on the A1. Carol, I'm going off in the background. Lost, didn't we? Lost. Our category was won by Arseblog, which we probably expected, I suppose, probably them on the Anfield Wrap. I think we've lost to them before in that category. So that was a bit of a shame, but yeah, not unexpected. Barrow won Fanzine of the Year, which I guess was quite nice. And it's called Give 'em Beans as well, which is a good name for a fanzine. Lucy Ward won Pundit of the Year, so that was a Leeds win. So in a way, we did win, sort of. Food was nice, so that was good. Quite small, as always. We're just digging into the bread to begin with. Just, you've got to fill up on these things. No enormous Lebanese meal on the way back to the hotel, though, which was very, very plush was the hotel, I have to say. The bed had a slope on it, which was nice because the mattress was so out of shape. But, other than that, it wasn't bad, really. So, we go again next year when we'll probably lose to someone else. But I'm going to go have a mooch round Waitrose, I think there's a... Oh, it might be a Greg's, actually. Maybe things are looking up. Bye.
The sort of hotel that he stayed in, knowing what London prices are like, when he's left to his own devices to choose a room on his own.
Wasn't it called like Barry's Lodgings or something? And I think it was unclear whether Barry would loiter in your room while you were trying to sleep or not. Yeah, it didn't sound too glamorous.
It sounds like the scene or a setting for a slasher film, like the room you'd go in there and smell really strongly of bleach for some reason.
Yeah, I stayed in a hotel in, is it Stratford? I don't really know. People
East London, like near West Ham?
Yeah, somewhere like that. And it's the worst place I've ever stayed in any country ever.
Yeah.
It's just like, it was just so dingy inside, and it was probably about 250 quid.
I was about to make a joke saying £200, but you actually went over and above over and above that. Yeah. Well, congratulations to Arseblog, who won the Fan Media of the Year award. Was expected because they've got by far the biggest audience, and it was a public vote. So what we're saying is we're putting it down to that. But well done anyway. Not that we're bitter. Although I do remember being there last year because we lost really early last year. Like it was in the first 2 or 3 awards, and being very sort of magnanimous about it. And Arseblog was sat on our table as well. The guy who runs that, such a nice guy, nice Irish guy, and then just becoming increasingly embittered as the night went on because I didn't want to be there anymore. And I was getting increasingly drunk on the free booze.
It's like Christmas Day, innit? Just getting more and more bitter with your family. Yeah. Really getting a bit too honest there.
So it was like, and then it was the lads from Not the Top 20 because, of course, we were down there, weren't we?
Well, I mean, we'll settle them next year.
give it a few months, but we do like them. But I was upset at their happiness, but they ended up going off and doing karaoke somewhere when we had our Lebanese meal. So that is that. We didn't win. Congratulations to Lucy Ward though on winning her award. Enough about us. Let's get into the stuff about Leeds United. Although there ain't a right lot besides previewing Chelsea. Again, nothing's really moved, but there has been an article in The Guardian about Farke's position at the club, which is probably worth just having a quick mention of. Prior to doing that, we'll say the 21s have not played yet this week. Is that correct?
No, I think that the league is basically off until about January, and they play Dortmund in the
Or is it that cup thing?
Nonsense Cup.
Right.
European football in Leeds
In
/ York. I did go to the Bilbao game the other month, which you can read about in issue 3. Because I was like, European football. Johnny Howson's playing for Leeds in Europe. Won't this be great? It was a very strange experience.
Was it York, you say?
York, yeah, which is on a retail park. So, experienced the European culture and went to Nando's before going to the game and had a little look in. I think it was go outdoors because I was just wandering around being like, not much to do here, is there?
Although, worth looking forward to the Dortmund one as well, because we're twin cities, Leeds and Dortmund. There's a Dortmund square in Leeds where the fat man with the beer barrel is, the statue. And then there is a Leeds square in Dortmund, which we actually covered this off on the member show this week but basically it was a pigeon attack.
Maybe the barrel man could walk the two teams out.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I once went to the Leeds bar in Dortmund. It's just called the Leeds bar or the Leeds pub. Not the most glamorous place, but it was interesting.
Did you feel right at home, though?
I did bump into some Leeds fans there, actually. They gave me a badge, which was very nice. And I was very drunk, and I don't remember anything about it, really.
I see a pattern emerging in the theme here. Congratulations to the women's team as well, who are currently flying high and finally might escape. I don't want to curse it, but finally might escape that division that they're in. 12 teams, it's one up, and then is there a playoff place as well now?
I think there's a playoff place in each of the 3 leagues.
Right.
So it goes by region.
Right.
So whoever finishes second in those 3 leagues, after that point, I'm not really sure how a 3-team playoff works.
Oh, right.
Might be a round robin.
Yeah.
Just finish top.
Final. Something like that.
Yeah, but just finished off. So if they win their game in hand, they will go top of that division, finally. But the weather is always a big factor at this time of year because of the pitches that they play on. And we know that they play, is it Garforth they're playing at now this year? Yeah, which is not as bad as when they were playing at Tadcaster, which is on a floodplain.
Yeah, the Venice of Yorkshire, as people were calling it.
Is that right?
Yeah. Same with Skipton. I used to have to get the train to work, and it went through Skipton, and Skipton was always flooded. Right. Whatever that's about. I don't know. Anyway,
water off at Ills.
The women's team, they only won one of their first 4 league games. And there was a bit of a sense of like, oh, here we go again. But they won 5 in the bounce now, so hitting their stride.
They're on a cup run as well. They're in the FA Cup 4th round. I think they're playing
third
round,
it is. But they played 4 games, something like that.
Right, but they're playing West Brom in the next round, who they've already played in one cup, and it went to penalties. They lost on penalties, so you'd think that they've got a good chance as well of going on a bit of a cup run as well as a promotion push. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, our first team men's cup run is about to start in January.
Oh, God.
Isn't it? Hey, that's not too far away. But we've got those bastards at home on Wednesday first. No, that's a nervous noise, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, it should be good if, we all came out of that second half on Saturday thinking, there's a bit of a blueprint there. This could be fun, giving us a bit of hope and belief and an idea to attach ourselves to. And then it was afterwards when I was rereading Farke's post-match comments, and he did sort of scoff at the idea that 3-5-2 is the way forward, which I'm hoping is him just not trying to give away his plans to the opposition. And maybe he's got a point. Maybe it's not all about the formation, but that direct style would be nice to see us lean into again.
Chelsea need it up them, don't they?
Always.
Yeah. Don't you feel like that's the way to approach this game, is to harness the crowd in the same way that we did in the first half against Villa? Yeah,
the only thing is, though, that the players are so good that they can't just play through it.
Yeah,
but you need to find a way to rattle them. I watched Moises Caicedo's fouls at the weekend, and I don't know why. Like, what's he doing?
That first half was ridiculous. It was like none of them were trying to play football. It was just trying to tackle each other and cheat, basically. It was quite infuriating to watch after we'd seen Man City blatantly cheat against us a couple of times on Saturday.
On the 3-5-2, the thing I find interesting about it is we use it at times in both of the last 2 pre-seasons. We tried it in some games, so it's obviously in Farke's mind somewhere, just as a thing to try, even if it's not something that he actually wants to progress with.
He referred in his post-match saying, we do play it sometimes. And you sort of think, well, yeah, we tend to do that when you throw all the strikers on and it loses all shape.
Yeah.
But he obviously does have it in mind. People have been saying, you particularly, Chris, that it would suit this team, and it looks like it on Saturday. So you think just stick with it. Because, I suppose playing 4 at the back and the 4-3-3, we've generally looked all right at home this season. But maybe it is time for something new and just give it a try.
I think the big thing is, other than Okafor, the wingers in attack haven't offered very much. And even then, Okafor, at times, like it's not like it's every single game. And then you've got Calvert-Lewin winning all these headers, or all these big long balls going up the match, and there's nobody near him. And then suddenly you do it with two up front, and it does kind of work. I didn't see it coming. Like I was saying to you, I was at the game and came back 2 minutes late for the second half and just saw Jakob, like, what's he doing here? Like, who's injured? And then saw Calvert-Lewin, and it was just all very confusing. But I mean, there's other ways of playing a 3-5-2
exactly.
as well.
I was saying at the weekend there are options to tweak the system within that as well, because Okafor could play as a second striker. You could have Nonto as a 10 still, maybe. You could play 2 10s behind the striker. Like, there are different ways of playing it.
You can also play a left back as the left of a back three with a winger in front of him as well, which is kind of seen as like a bit of a hybrid defence in Europe. But I'm not going to pretend that I know exactly what I'm talking about in that regard. But
also as well, if he did then want to throw more forwards on later on in the game, you could sacrifice the centre half and go back to a 4 at the back, and then it would help. I just feel like it would help him out. But whether he was scoffing at that, or whether he was just trying not to give away the game plan, we will find out tomorrow.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, like you, Chris, I can't say that much with great confidence about the 3-5-2 because I don't know what it necessarily does. That, I don't know enough about football. I feel like from a tactical point of view to know what the massive difference is. But I think I mentioned a couple of days ago, it might have been on yesterday's show, like it feels like just basic things like having somebody next to Dominic Calvert-Lewin running off him. So if we're not bringing the wingers into the game, or they're not creating stuff, or they can't break properly, if we're narrower and the width comes from the fullbacks, you can pack midfield with the fullbacks. You can get players next to Calvert-Lewin. You can double up on wingers. It feels like it ticks a lot of boxes in terms of like the eye test of what we saw against Man City. And if we want to try and nullify Chelsea in the same way, give it a go. And it feels like the obvious thing for Farke to do, to maybe save his job. And I suppose that brings us on to the Guardian article, because the thrust of that is he needs something from these 2 games, and it's probably just worth saying, right? So Matt Hughes is the author of this article that's on the Guardian. Matt Hughes is citing several club sources within this article. Senior figures at the club expecting him to be sacked if his side loses the home games against Chelsea and Liverpool. Multiple sources at Leeds have conceded that if Farke's fate is in the balance, although there is sympathy for him in some quarters, owing to a belief that results have not reflected some positive performances. So we'll sack you, but we'll do it with a smile on our face, basically. So have we moved on from the Daily Mail now, from that being our chosen organ to allow stories to emerge? Maybe
they saw the blue and white and got confused.
Right.
But I mean, it is worth saying that Matt Hughes isn't a journalist who throws a lot of shit at the wall and sees what sticks. Like, he seems to be pretty reliable. He's not a gobshite that just puts a load of stuff out there. But yeah, I mean, where do you want to start at this? It's just annoying, isn't it? Like, as I was saying on the match ball at the weekend, I think, or whenever it was, if they wanted to sack him in the summer, they should have just sacked him then and replaced him then, rather than leak it to the press and see whether, test the water in that sense, because it just looks daft.
Because that is mentioned, I should say, Rob, in this article as well. Like, he basically hung on to his job by a thread in the summer, and then they move on to talk about other stuff.
Yeah, and then you're seeing it now where they're leaking it to the press 2 days before the Chelsea game. Again, we all know the writing's on the wall for him, and now you've just backed yourself into a corner where what if he does win one of these 2 games? And actually you've made your mind up, you want to sack him, and then it's the whole Jesse Marsh beating Liverpool again, isn't it? And you just look daft.
Because giving it a run-up like this, and if they're allowing multiple sources at Leeds and senior figures at the club to go in this article, and journalists do write these things sometimes, and there is no basis of truth to it. But yeah, it would maybe be it would be counter to what you'd expect someone like Matt Hughes and the Guardian to do, wouldn't you? So that's probably, to be fair. Why do the run up? Like, doesn't it just speak to? It speaks to basically an indecision at the top level for me. I don't know, and positioning yourselves as sensible and not reactionary.
It's also just
none of it sits right.
Treating this bloke who did what you asked him to do with a sense of decency, rather than do the story in the summer where it's like, we might sack him 24 hours after he's got us promoted, and then he's doing the same thing here. Daniel Farke has covered their asses for basically the last 2 years, when they could have been open to a lot of criticism, and Daniel Farke has been the front of that and has generally dealt with it pretty sensibly and pretty reasonably. And now I know there's no loyalty in football, or it's a dirty business and all that, but you just shut up and do your job. And then you can get onto the stuff about it was Farke who favoured physicality of the transfer business. And all that.
Well, I was going to say, isn't that a little bit rewriting history? So for anybody who's not read this, Farke was back with significant transfer money, with Leeds spending more than £100 million on 10 players. The manager has bemoaned the failure to sign more attacking options, with the striker Patrick Bamford released at the end of August without being replaced. Some at the club have raised questions about the quality of the players he brought in, with accusations he favoured physicality over technical quality. Now, that does not marry up with the narrative as we understand it, which is that the data showed them that. That's been unfair, I think. Like, you can accept what Farke's limitations are, maybe, but I don't think he can have this hung on him. Maybe he had sign off on some signings, but you can't argue with the supposed data-led approach.
I think it's like he obviously signed off on players, but the whole thing about data, that all came from the club. When before this has Daniel Farke been a physicality first manager?
No.
That's not why Leeds hired him. That's not why he was Norwich manager.
Trapped for a year. Ilya Grove seems to rock up. He's not a big physical midfielder. He seems to love Manor Solomon. He was desperate to sign Emi Buendia. He wanted Buonanotte and Harry Wilson in the summer. You just see through it.
I just feel like certain people are trying to take us for idiots, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't slide with football fans, I don't think. It might in certain other sports, but just not with Leeds fans.
There's also, it was over the summer when every signing was getting announced, the club were desperate to make a big deal about how big they are. They
even made jokes about them all being 27, didn't they?
Yeah, and it was like Lucas Perry and was it Anton Stack when they got announced, and they were like posing in front of signs to show how tall they are and stuff like this. And it was actually Farke who got asked about this in a presser over the summer, and he was like, "I wish we would stop talking about how tall they are and just talk about how they're decent, talented footballers."
Yeah.
So for now, them to come out with like this, it's like, is anyone buying this?
Well,
this is
the thing. There's enough distance between the so-called sources of this, senior figures at the club, multiple sources at Leeds. There's enough plausible deniability there, isn't there? I think that's what doesn't necessarily sit right.
Well, the thing is, these people have the option to go and leak things to the press, whereas Daniel Farke doesn't really have that, and he also has to sit and face them 3-4 times a week.
I think he's doing a presser this afternoon, like the day after this has been leaked. It's just crap. Like, it's just a shit way of treating someone, I think. And I know that might sound too precious, but I just think it's such an easy get out for these people who are ultimately making the decisions.
Yeah, and there's even just like the tone of some of the things, and in the way that Farke was backed with significant transfer money, arguably he wasn't really by modern standards.
No.
£100 million nowadays in the Premier League is not significant.
And you've got to do it to give yourself even a fighting chance. Are they saying they wouldn't have done it? Was one of the alternatives to have would one of the alternatives have been to have a better, more expensive coach, but then not spend that money on players?
Yeah, and the idea that midfielder Sean Longstaff and left back Gabriel Goodmanson are regarded internally as the only unqualified successes. Really? I don't know. You've got a striker who started up front at the weekend. He scored 4 goals.
Yeah, I'm sure Metcha would love to hear that, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Anton Stack, admittedly, it's not been very good, but I'm sure it does their confidence a great deal of good. And also this idea of they've let the tail wag the dog, or whatever that phrase is, with the manager over the summer. But then also the line in this story is they want to replace him before January so they can let that manager have a say in the window.
I was going to say, if you actually pass all the shite from this, that's kind of the big takeaway, isn't it? That they want the new guy to get January. So there's almost in their mind, if this is accurate, if it's not, then they've got the opportunity to deny it, haven't they? But we'll see. Are they likely to go into bat for Farke now if his position is on the line? Probably not. They're going to deny it? Probably not. But yeah, the main thrust of it being the new guy. They want to give the new guy January, and they've got plans to do stuff in January. So is that the sort of the hard deadline by which they want to be seen to take action? I don't know.
But then again, you want to talk about if they are looking at a new manager. If you're a new manager, or you've been approached by Leeds and you see them gossiping like school children to the media on more than I would say some other clubs do, then it might be a wee bit off-putting.
And if you're a new manager and you come in for the January transfer window and you immediately look at Robbie Evans' spreadsheets and say, launch them in the fucking bin, and you've still got Adam Underwood negotiating transfers, who was an academy boss until the summer, what do they do with those people then?
Yeah.
Or do you just change the manager again?
Yeah, I think you look at the way things have gone at Rangers this year, which isn't all of the same people at Leeds, but it's sort of fundamentally the same idea, and it doesn't really fill me with confidence. And actually, none of that even fucking matters. They have treated Farke like shit, I think. especially this week.
Yeah.
With this and in the summer, the one after promotion was just, it was unnecessary.
It really reminds me of like Simon Grayson. How towards the end of that, we would just hear crap from Lorimer and Bates and Sean Harvey about that. It's like, again, the writing's on the wall. Just crack on and do it. We don't need to hear all this stuff.
Right, we've got the ratings in for Man City, which we need to feed into the TSB supercomputer and pick ourselves a hero and villain of the week. People who've done good and bad across the last 7 days. So the numbers are in from the Etihad. What have we got? And because Michael's not here and he hasn't done his daft little AI graphic, it's a lot easier to read this week. So thank you.
Yeah, I saw that and just deleted it.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. That's what it deserved.
Yeah, I mean, there is the daily email on a Monday after a match that subscribers get. You don't need AI for that. We don't need to burn the planet to the ground.
You just need I.
Yeah, just I.
Just I.
Yeah.
I. So your man of the match that the TSB Plus members picked was Joe Rodon, 7.14.
No, it was Calvert-Lewin.
Out of the starters, I've just realised. I've scrolled down with my eyes and just, I've seen. Out of the starters was Joe Rodon with 7.14. Metcha was just behind him, 7.11. But yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I just realised has taken the gong from the bench with 7.89. Bringing up the rear from the starters, Lucas Perry scored a fraction over 5. The wingers didn't score particularly high because they were taken off at half time. But yeah, the spread is sort of 5 to 7. And off the bench, similar sort of story, really. Farker, 6.29 out of 10, which is quite high for him.
I was thinking as well, it must be the highest overall level of ratings for a defeat in quite some time. Usually when we lose a game, you've got, Jack Harrison on a 1.8 or something. Like, there's someone who's, being flogged quite badly. But yeah, I mean, even Brendan Aronson getting the 4.65 feels a little bit harsh.
Yeah. I mean, because what did he get? About a minute?
Yeah.
I don't think we should have even put him on the sheet for this. It's unfair. It's unfair on him. It's punching down.
I mean, sometimes people rate players who haven't even played and just give them a 1.
I mean, to be fair, that's usually our fault for leaving him on the sheet, so I don't want to criticise the members.
Peter Banks, the dickhead ref, 3.82 out of 10. Gave us a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, a 3.82 is pretty high as well by refereeing standards.
Does the 3.82, does that encompass all the officials? Because the liner on the near side for Man City's
second
goal, yeah, Phil Foden was miles offside from that corner.
Yeah, we didn't notice that at the time, did I? I saw someone point it out and I was like, that is outrageous. He is a mile offside.
Well, because that's the chance prior that led to the save from Perry and the corner that was then tapped in, so it should have been offside.
Because I was sort of in line with that up a bit in the ground and just thought, he's offside there. But then I didn't really twig that the resulting corner led to the goal. Also, I just assumed that there was a foul in there as well.
Yeah.
It did look like there was a foul.
Yeah. I would, I mean, I think had the shoe been on the other foot, that would have been disallowed. And I know, again, I said this before. It's like you can't disprove it, so it probably, I acknowledge my position in that. But it that doesn't feel like a decision that you get unless you're one of the top 6.
Yeah, and as well, like you see how VAR is used in rugby, and it goes back multiple phases of play. It's not just the 2 or 3 passes that lead up to a try being scored. It can go back, 30, 40 seconds sometimes to make a decision.
Ooh, so we can have 55 minutes of injury time.
Yeah,
I know,
hate that.
But then again, like you should be like if you can't see it in two replays, then it's not an obvious error, is it? So whatever.
I mean, that's the thing with this, though, and it's just a very, very blatant offside, and then VAR seeming to check for a different offside when it should have been checking for a block on the keeper.
Yeah.
And there's the whole silver dive thing that was annoying. But yeah, the actual ref didn't annoy me too much.
Yeah, I don't really like him as a referee, but he didn't give us any reason to be annoyed.
Yeah, it's a difficult gig, isn't it? And I don't think the way that the whole game is set up with VAR enabling them to use it either as a safety net or as a means to second guess themselves, and like even stupid stuff like as we saw with the failure to flag in the Villa home game when Watkins was miles offside over in our right back area, and it ended up leading to a throw in where we were under deep pressure in our own half.
Yeah,
when it should have just been offside and a free kick because he was clearly interfering with play, but he just stood still, didn't he?
The same happened at the weekend as well. There was one where he was miles offside. I think it was a City player, and he flagged. He flagged late, and then the next time it was like quite close, and he flagged like right away, and you're going, where's the consistency in this?
And it's one of the, we'll move on to the likes and dislikes. It's one of the dislikes brought up. Simon Waite mentioned that Bernardo Silva should have been sent off for diving. Given VAR looked at the incident, why could they not report this to the referee? Yeah, well, they don't retrospectively referee bookings, do they? That's the thing.
But why not? that
Just in
is
that
a fair
case.
point. No, but why not in general? Like, why have the technology if you're not going to use it properly?
Yeah. And I think Johnny sums up the things from a Leeds perspective rather than getting too caught up on the officials. Johnny liked the fact that we saw Farke could make decisive tactical decisions, but dislikes the fact that it's taken 2.5 years for Farke to make a decisive tactical decision. That I think that probably sums up my feelings on it. The stuff that I did enjoy, I was like, yeah, he's done it. He's done the obvious thing. He's made a proactive change at half time, but then it's taken him this long to do it.
Did either of you see him doing that?
No.
See that coming?
No, absolutely not. Although it then came out, again, I missed it afterwards, where he said, Dan James might be injured. It's like, has that sort of helped you make him? Oh, he could have just brought on Brendan Aronson, couldn't he? So, yeah, it was nice to see him do something different. I do enjoy Chris Milner's dislike. Lucas Perry, the man who's about as mobile as the love child of Sean Gregan and Paul Butler.
Although he did make some really good saves in that as well. It's funny, isn't it?
That feels slightly harsh, but funny nonetheless.
Yep. Phil fucking Foden. Lars didn't like Phil fucking Foden, which I think is absolutely fair. Harrison's cushioned left peg says, corrupt VAR, Silva diving, Pep needing to have a mid-match coaching session. That's the thing, obviously, that's riled everybody the most.
I did enjoy the suggestion on the Guardian's football podcast where they're saying if a goalkeeper goes down pretending to be injured, you should be allowed to injure him. That's how you fix it.
Who was it? Was it Tommy Smith who said if a player rolled over, I would kick him until he stopped rolling?
Yeah. It's a good test, isn't it? It's a good litmus test of whether you're injured or not. Just actually away from pitch matters, Maurice Motormouth flags this one up. Mobile phone light shows says it all, really. Yeah, did you notice that? Was that in the ground during the game? There were people in the back of so it's the stand opposite the cameras in the top tier. I saw a photograph of this on socials. A lot of people with mobile phones on, with the lights on, like it was a Coldplay concert.
It was the stand opposite from me, and it was maybe about 50 or 60 people. I'm assuming it was like the Rhino sometimes, where they have the scan the QR code and your phone starts going off for the light show.
Tin pot. You were too busy laying into Man City fans at that point, though, were you, Chris?
It's funny because when me and Normanton went to New Orleans to the Superdome and they did that, you could get if you got the New Orleans Saints app and registered your phone with it, gave it the permission, and there's like a synchronized light show goes on with your phones before match, but it's with the fire cannons and then there's the cheerleaders, and it all works in that environment. The environment, the stage is set for it. Not over here.
No, not at all. There was quite a few City fans acting like they're in the secret police, going around asking people were the Leeds fans.
Right.
I did get away with it. I did tell someone I was a scout for Cliftonville, who are a semi-professional team. No idea why they would be at the Etihad, but yeah.
I'm scouting. You got any good players here, lads?
That Phil Foden's good. Is that your
number 9's all right?
Is that your alibi for the Greater Manchester Police? Is it?
I did say that, and do you know what? I'm not surprised because there was quite a lot of aggro I think it seems to be an ongoing issue with away fans in the home ends at City, and like the people were just complaining left, right, and centre and arguing with the stewards and all about it. But there's a few chucked out near us, but they didn't really do anything to be chucked out. It was very strange.
The middle tier behind the goal, so as the camera looks at it off to the right, that is it's a corporate loungy bit, isn't it? And I think there were a lot of Leeds fans had bought tickets in there as well, because there is footage from within that block of seats that you see when the equaliser comes in, because obviously it's the penalty. Everyone knows it's potentially coming, and they're just like maybe 24 people stood up celebrating, and they did that thing because it's quite close to the away fans where they'll sort of celebrate towards the away fans but not give a shit about all the people that are around them, like the home fans.
I was the fellas with. I was like, if Leeds score a third here, we need to leave. We need to just get up, celebrate, and walk straight out of the stadium. Because,
I'm off now, bye!
Because it was... there were people just staring. There was a guy in front of us who was just a complete psychopath, just staring out everyone, and ask someone were they a Leeds fan because they were filming part of the match. Did you have to sort of sit on your hands then when the equaliser went in? Yeah. When the penalty went in, I did. Or sorry, when they won the penalty, I went, it's a penalty, and I was like, oh Jesus, it's a penalty!
Fuck, it's a penalty.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, though there was a group of Leeds fans kicked out, and I said, bloody Leeds fans, eh? And elbowed the guy in the side. So.
Was that the psychopath or the?
Yeah.
Listen to my accent. This is not a Leeds
I
accent.
know. Yeah. Do I sound like I'm from Leeds?
Right. So let's factor all this in then. Likes and dislikes. What's the hero and the villain of the week looking like from your perspective? Let's do the Ken Bates villain of the week. Tough one, isn't it? Is it Pep? Is it the VAR? Is it the liner?
Man City as an entity,
Donnarumma?
just awful.
Yeah.
The Death Star.
Donnarumma, potentially, but Donnarumma feels like the easy... He's the target that you can see.
He was just following instructions. He was, wasn't he? Because Ruben Diaz was telling him to sit down. There was his instructions that presumably came from Pep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you could give it to Donnarumma. I think Manchester City.
Silva's dive was really annoying. Donnarumma was really annoying.
Light show. was
Crap
annoying.
atmosphere, really annoying.
The psychopath. Do you want any words to say about the psychopath now you're safely away on the internet? Be a keyboard warrior, Chris.
No, I will. I've been not quite a villain, but I had a fantastic steak pie. And also, I'm pretty sure the drinks are cheaper at the Etihad than at Elland Road.
Right, it's definitely City then. Villains.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything they represent is bad. Yeah, I said with the show with Jack Carroll on Monday, this is not the Man City that I recognise from my childhood at all. Whereas I can still see enough of Leeds United in Leeds United, even from the 1980s. The soul of it is still there. Man City is unrecognisable.
Yeah, as Metch's Nunchucks says, I'd rather support Leeds in the Championship than follow the Death Star.
Yeah, enjoy your trophies, you fucking losers. Right, that's the Ken Bates villain of the week picked. Gitana Baradi hero of the week, sponsored by the TukTukClub.com. Do you fancy going to Northern Thailand?
Yeah, if you're offering.
I've just been trying to swing it out at home. We can just stretch the budget a little bit further. I'm disappearing for a week. Where? Thailand, Northern Thailand, jungles, elephants, winding mountain roads. If I make it sound really nice like that, surely she can't deny me.
Let's bring them all.
Nah, you're all right.
You try to go on your own though.
Just a bit of peace and quiet. So you can self-drive the tuk-tuk. You can be chauffeur driven. TSB 15 for a 15% discount on your booking at the TukTukClub.com. Right. Hero of the week.
There are a lot of people that want to give it to a formation. That would feel a bit hollow, giving it to a 3-5-2.
Who invented the 3-5-2? Do we need to get a copy of Inverting the Pyramid here and have a look at this?
Come on, Chris, you must know this.
I mean, I think a lot of it comes from the Catenaccio in Italy in the 60s, but I don't know if it's technically Nereo Rocco.
You're saying words I don't understand. Great.
Yeah.
I see words like that. I see words like Football Manager and FIFA. So I don't know what that means.
Just 4-4-2.
Basic beach 4-4-2.
I think the actual the 3-5-2 was Argentina in 1986 World Cup. Carlos Bilardo was the first person to sort of popularise that.
Listen to him and his knowledge.
But I don't know.
What a nerd.
The actual, because ours is more of a back five, it's not a back three.
Yeah.
I say back three, it sounds better. Sounds like we've been more attacking.
Anyway, yeah, people liked 3-5-2/5-3-2.
Luca B liked seeing Ilya Gruev.
Yeah.
As much as we all forgot about him. You can sort of forget that he's playing as well. But it was nice to see him.
It was. Has he done enough to take the hero crown? No, that's the question.
Yeah. Calvert-Lewin was good. He sort of changed things. Joe Rodon was very good, shouting at Doku, was it? And then Bernardo Silva. It's an excellent photo of him getting booked and pulling a silly face at the ref as well.
I thought Beal played well whenever he came on as well, which in his more natural position, not on the left side of a back three, not on the left side of a defence and in a back three.
Yeah, was he central in the three then? Rodon on the right and then Strauch on the left? Yeah.
He was basically there to deal with Haaland, wasn't he?
When I think about what the thing is that has cheered me up most this week, or given me most reason to smile, it was the unexpected change. It was the 3-5-2. And again, going back to what was said about Farke, I'm happy he did it. I wish he'd done it sooner. Is it the formation?
We can't give a formation hero of the week, can we?
We're still lost.
Oh.
Give it I mean, Calvert-Lewin, he completely changed the game whenever he came on.
Yeah.
That run where he bought the free kick after he broke from basically halfway and then won a free kick near the edge of the box. That was brilliant, especially because it was then a minute later that Doku tried to do the same thing and Rodon just shouted at him.
I don't think Doku's very good. He's really good dribbling with the ball, but he doesn't do anything else, I don't think. And he'd probably look up and he scored like 7 goals or something in the Premier League this season, but just watch him at the weekend.
Is it because they don't play like that though as well? Because he just wants to possession teams to death, doesn't he?
Maybe, but I remember watching them for Belgium at the Euros against Italy, and it was just a lot of very quick running. But well, Dan James can do that.
Right.
He's not worth 120 million or whatever.
Not that a minute he can't.
Well,
or Dan James. We didn't even mention him in the first half, did we? Really, that he's injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame.
It is quite worrying that someone whose game kind of relies on pace has had numerous hamstring injuries.
Yeah.
This is his Michael Owen moment.
Maybe we just turn him into a right back.
Right.
Turn him into a number 10. Or the striker that Bielsa always wanted him to be.
Oh, we're turning into Scotland now with loads of really good fullbacks and nowhere to play them if I have Dan James as a right back.
Yeah, I lean towards the 3-5-2, but I mean, if you're not happy to give it to a formation,
It feels a bit hollow, doesn't it?
yeah. I mean, but losing 3-2 at Man City is hollow, and feeling hollow. At least I'm feeling something.
Let's give it Calvert-Lewin. He needs a confidence boost. He's got his goal. Now he's going to start smashing him in.
Took it well as well.
And we probably said exactly this after the Wolves game, and it's taken him until now to score a second. But
but maybe he just needs some crosses putting in on his head.
Yeah, which again is potentially something you might get more of with the 3-5-2 if you just get the two fullbacks launching crosses at the heads of the two strikers.
Calvert-Lewin then for being the catalyst. All right, we'll give it to him. And congratulations, Dominic, on your goal against Chelsea tomorrow to beat the Bastards.
Yeah.
Enjoy that. It'll be all right. Should be a good atmosphere, hopefully, under the lights. Ellen Road Defiant. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Ken Bates' birthday on Thursday as well.
Yeah. Old, isn't he?
Yeah, well, if he makes it that far.
I've been saying that for years, mate. Right, we'll wrap it up there. We've got a Football Manager episode coming out where if you're talking about tactics and 4-4-2, basic bitch tactics, that's what we are on Football Manager, because Michael he rules with an iron fist there as the manager, doesn't he? Won't let go of the mouse with his stupid 4-4-2 tactics.
He is perennially rattled, though.
Yeah, it's good, though, isn't it? Yeah. It's good. So look out for that. Yeah, we've episode of that coming out on Wednesday before the game, and then there's the match ball after the game, which will be streamed live for TSB Plus members and then out on the free feed on Thursday morning as well. So look out for that. We'll see you soon.
The Square Ball Podcast.